Good morning, insiders. Welcome to another Monday download. Today's download, we're going to be talking a little bit more about HAFA. I'm going to give you a little update on some stuff that we're finding in the HAFA program. So let's just get started on it. We are becoming less and less enchanted with the HAFA program. And just a quick recap, HAFA is Home Affordable Foreclosure Alternative. It is the home modification, kind of Obama's plan to prevent foreclosures. When somebody doesn't qualify for a modification, they can attempt to do a short sale through HAFA. This has been kind of touted by the NAR and many real estate associations as kind of the savior of short sales. But the more that we're looking at it and actually doing transactions now, a lot of stuff was conjecture back in late fall and through the winter when we were reading the guidelines, watching them modify the guidelines, and then having them roll it out in spring. There was a lot of conjecture as to how this was going to work or not work, and I'm having to say that a lot of my predictions, if you will, are starting to come true. So let's just talk about some of the guidelines that are causing issues. These guidelines for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's version of HAFA, which again mirror the traditional HAFA program. 6% real estate commissions. Yeah, love to not have to fight over that. So we don't have to worry about that. There are 6% real estate commissions with the HAFA plan. 3% max seller expenses. This becomes problematic in some situations. What does that mean? That doesn't mean a 3% seller concession for buyer's closing costs. That means 3% max seller expenses. So in the state of Washington, for example, 2% of the sale price goes straight toward excise tax. It doesn't include closing costs and title fees, utility holdbacks, anything like that may pop up. So you figure 2% plus closing title, recording, utilities, tax prorations, all of those things have to be under 3%. Anything over 3%, and somebody's going to have to pay for it. It's either going to have to come out of a contribution from the real estate agent's commission, the seller's going to have to bring in money, the buyer's going to have to bring in money, somebody's going to have to pay for it. Not to mention that if anything weird pops up, for example, an assessment that nobody knew about, or maybe there was an assessment you knew about, but it's on there, has to be paid off by the seller, not going to fly. Large homeowners associations that are on the seller side of the HUD, not going to happen. So somebody's going to have to take care of that. Taxes that aren't paid. So often when people aren't paying their mortgage, they're not paying their taxes. So there are times where taxes are unpaid for a year or two or more, and now we have to pay those off at closing. So any of those weird things are going to create a game over in the HAFA program. Something else that you've been hearing about and that I've been talking about is how many second mortgages are specifically stating that they're not participating in HAFA. And I know this just makes so many of you cringe, especially those of you who have just been the champions of HAFA and feel like HAFA should be the answer to all short sale problems. When you get an email with the footer, and I'm reading this. This is an email from a negotiator at First Tennessee, First Horizon. So if you've done very many short sales, you've bumped into those guys. Not anybody's favorite lender, but they're out there quite a bit. And this is a footer below the signature and everything, kind of like that. You know, this is private information. If it goes to the wrong person, call me. This goes out with every single one of their emails. And let me read it to you. You're going to enjoy this. First Tennessee / First Horizon have chosen not to participate in the HAMP and HAFA programs. A full list of participating servicers can be located on the official Making Home Affordable website. While we understand that Fannie and Freddie are laying down the laws with respect to their mortgages, they cannot dictate what will be accepted by any junior lien that is not listed as a participant in these programs. And we've even heard that Wells Fargo First Mortgages are doing HAFA, but Wells Fargo home equity loans are not. So a lot of conflict there. And that's why I said at the beginning that we're becoming less and less enchanted with HAFA. Not that we were really enchanted from the beginning, because I just saw all sorts of problems from the day of release back in November, reading through stuff. I'm like, this is not going to work. Private mortgage insurance. We had an agent just last week that was sent me an email and said, hey, PMI wants a big prom note on this. What if we send it through HAFA and then they can't ask for that? Well, that's not the case. They can ask for it, and if they're asking for it in a traditional short sale, they're going to ask for it in a HAFA short sale. They, again, just like First Tennessee, First Horizon said, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HAFA, none of those guys can dictate what private mortgage insurance is going to say, what junior lien holders are going to say and or accept. And so, unfortunately, what we're finding with our HAFA files are that many of them are going to have to convert over to traditional files anyway, which means you have to start the process over. The lenders require it to start back at square one. And so we're being very, very careful to work HAFA files and make sure that we feel like it's a really, really good situation, meaning that there's a single loan, there's no PMI, there's not an HOA that's going to be become in arrears, taxes are current, all of those things that we talked about just a little bit ago that could throw the whole deal into a sideways spin. If all of those are gone and it's really, really straightforward and simple, then that might be something that we look at HAFA for. The question is, if it's that straightforward and simple, it's probable that it's going to be better through a traditional anyway. But that's kind of how we're looking at it. We're still very much on a case by case. We prefer the traditional short sale method because the policies are already kind of carved out. It's not new ground. There's not so many people that have to agree to so many different things that make HAFA very challenging. So those are my thoughts, kind of my update, my state of the HAFA update for you right now. If you have something that you feel like needs to go HAFA, my recommendation is that you get on the phone with myself or with Aaron, our senior negotiator, and we actually talk about it to determine if it's practical to go HAFA and why we think that it would be. You know, the other thing, for those of you that want to have, expect other expenses that need to go onto the seller's side of the transaction, not going to fly because of the fact that they're maxing it out at 3%. So, a lot of problems with the HAFA program. I know that in theory we were all excited about it, but I really think, and this is just my prediction, you can mark the calendar, September 15th, 2010, my prediction is that HAFA will become less and less effective over the next 12 months, and I could be wrong, and I guess time will tell, but my opinion is that we will see fewer and fewer HAFA files that are going through, just because they've wasted so many people's time and end up going traditional anyway. So there you go, there's my crystal ball. Alright you guys, have a great week. If you have any questions on anything at all, do not hesitate to send me an email, get in contact with the office, we can schedule a time to get on the phone. We want to help you out. Our success is tied with your success, so anything that we can do to help you grow your business, we definitely want to do that. So, alright, take care, have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.